Hey friends, welcome back to the garden. I'm Rachel, a Zone 5B gardener here just about a block off of Lake Michigan in Wisconsin. And today we are going to be planting my cool flowers. Cool flowers are plants that thrive in the ground and can be planted before your last frost date. So of course that means then you get sooner blooms. So let's go ahead and get them planted. So here I have my front baskets that I change up for all seasons. And it's that time of season, the season that needs to get, hey Nico, where I need to change out everything in here. I'm one of those that believes that if my structure's in place, I'll actually do it. So I can't take those staples anywhere else, otherwise I will lose them. This is likely to be a giant mess, but it is going to go into my composter, so all's good. I think I've had this cocoa core for 3 years now. It's one of the cheap ones, and I was very unhappy with how everything looked last year because spilling out onto the sides, just really messy. So I did actually buy fancy ones that have plastic liner. I know plastic is bad. I want my corners to stay nice and tight. So that's what we're doing this year. It already has drain holes in it and should be easy to fill. Here, I like to use this raised bed mix, and not just so that I have fewer bags of soil. In general, I really like this soil, and I've had a lot of success in using it. So it's the Miracle-Gro raised bed mix, and it's the organic one. It somehow has the perfect balance of holding moisture, but not too much. I tend to buy most of my products at Stein's and Lowe's, and so this was a addition last year from Lowe's, or at least the first time I saw it. I'm very happy with it. Stuff was stored outside, so it is very heavy and wet. Good morning, or actually it's afternoon. I live on a very busy street, so I'm pretty sure one of the things will be to talk to neighbors, because it's a very friendly community. And then it being by the lake, people come hang out here for the day, just walk around. It's really nice if you like people. Oh, I got 2 bags. This guy is big. The corners are tapered, kind of funny. We can make it work. In my experiment, I grew the same pack of violas in 3 different soil mediums. This is the Stein mix, and this is the black gold. Black gold started out very nice. They were much bigger to begin with, but ultimately the Stein mix won out. So in each of these, I'm gonna do both versions, because again, the experiment is still living on. And then here I have some sprouted ranunculus, some sprouting better than others. And then I have my Swiss chard, which actually I'm going to pull. These really grew up great. I don't think I'm going to need them all in the same spot. So I'll do 5 here. That's my tall plant, and my violas in the front. Let's move these guys out of the way. And if we're being realistic, I don't need this many pansies either. Center is pretty floppy. He needs some water. Ew, that was not very good seed production on that first one. Potted these up a while back, and it does not look like they all took to their new environment, that they just stayed as they were. I guess that's fine. Definitely means that I need more dirt. There we go. I like that a lot. These guys have nice roots. This is the black gold. So I think I'll do this as the Stein mix, and that one is the black gold. And that's how I can keep my experiment going without overplanting. Just a little bit more for this corner. Now, because I hardened these off for 2 weeks now, I have no intention of covering them, except if we get below 27 degrees. Oh, these look great. Let's go ahead and check out that root. I have a little bit of fungus, which happens because they have been growing for a long time. I planned on 5 in here, so I'm gonna grab one more pansy to go here. Use these cups now for 3 seasons. So I'm gonna say that it is probably, I don't know, it's time to upgrade. It's really wet. Honestly, I wish I had 7. I don't know that I need 7, but I wish I had it. This is fine. I'm gonna do here because it's closer to the door. This will fill in fine. So here you have it. Not very exciting to look at as we start, but here we have my basket filled with items that I've grown from seed, and they are nice looking plants. I'm going to go ahead and move over to number 2. Probably just gonna do it with that because it's looking pretty dark over here. This basket is even worse than the other side. There's even holes. I'm going to add this dirt specifically to my bed here because I do struggle with a little bit of runoff that I do plan to solve for. I've been thinking through what I want to plant on the hill and I have not decided yet. I did last year add lamium to a few spots. A friend gave me a whole bunch of transplants. So we're going to see how that takes and if it's the low look that I like, not something that blows in the wind a little bit more. Pretty sure I know the answer. But I do really like the lamium, so let's not go anywhere. I think half that ended up in my shoe, but no big deal. This one has a lot of the pink stems, which will be really cute. Here again, 50 on if we have big, beautiful ranunculus. Ooh, here we have lots of roots, but nothing on top. So that one's going to do great. These other ones, I don't know. Actually, not here. It's another one with great roots. Terrible on top, though. The ones with the styrofoam cups did not do well. Keep that noted. There's a lot of top growth on that one too. And this guy's real little. A lot of my ranunculus this year are new. And so I don't know if that's what's going on or I didn't do a good job of sprouting them. I'm in a Facebook seed starting group and I don't typically pot up my seeds. There's been a debate going on around limiting my growth. And these guys I did pot up. They're big and beautiful. They've also been growing the longest, so I'm not really going to say that potting them up is the reason. You're definitely seem very happy. It does not look great immediately, but I am very happy. Oh, and I forgot one more little pot to do. Here is my experiment on my dusty melon, and if they're going to be a tender perennial or not. In a pot, I'm pretty sure we can say no, but in my raised beds, I think yes. It's a lot of dirt. Yes, I sometimes do fairy gardens. This is kind of a constant because I love these cute little gnomes that my stepmom gave me. Honestly, I don't think that behind needs anything else. It'll take a while to grow in, but it'll be good. Here we have my 3 cut flower beds where I'm planning to put my cool flowers. We're going to put the snapdragons right here in this first bed. You'll notice that there are garlic popping up and tulips. Then we're going to move on over here to my front cut flower bed. It gets absolutely the most sun, and I have a couple of projects already in here. So here we have the snapdragons put in place. I did about 5 inches to each root ball, and that'll be more than enough space based upon more of square foot gardening principles. And if you look here at a few of them, I didn't pinch everything, but I pinched most. So here is a good example of the pinching. So there's my original cut, and then there's the beautiful branching. Again, you'll see that here on this one. Experimenting. So I didn't do all of them because I wanted to see what would work out best. What are you doing, Cal? Quit barking. This would be a good time to note that I tried out a couple different sewing methods. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. Hence why I'll show you in a minute that I have some calendula sprouting beautifully. Where did I put the extra one? So why did I plant these cuties so close together? Because I want them to hold each other up. Branching isn't my goal here in the cut flower section. And so when they're nice and tight, they grow a little straighter. Not as many blooms. That's what cutting is for. Okay, we are now at the last bits of planting today. And we're going to start from the shortest here up in the front. Put in ranunculus because it's the soonest to bloom, and I want everybody from the street to be able to see it. And then also going by the structure of north, south, west, and east, being the tallest stuff on the east side and the shortest stuff on the west side, so that nothing gets shattered. And I think that's where I'm going to stop for explaining what I'm doing at the moment. Once I get everything in, I'll start again. These guys are going to go straight back in. They're a pain too. These are the same pansies. That's what I did up in those baskets on the other side. So adding in continuity. I'm not going to lie. Most people in the neighborhood think that this part of the yard is part of my neighbors. And someday I might show you why. And pansies you can plant super close together. So quite literally they are near touching. Last year, I planted them in the bed all around my sweet peas, and it was very pretty, but you couldn't see them because they were mostly in the back and in this one corner. And so I'm changing how I want these guys to be viewed. I should note that in the fall, I did a big planting of cool flowers to see what I could winter over, and I'm not going to say that was a great success, but I do have some pretty cool things coming up that survived. I really enjoyed the fall planting because that then meant that I got to do less in the house. 0 to 4 was significant in a very pretty way. It was my first year working from home, so I had the time. And I was able to make it work, but circumstances could change, and so you never know if you get that opportunity to have that big of a seed starting mission. Hello! These were what was planted in the third growing medium, which was burpees. They got burned by fertilizer, so definitely not my favorite thing to happen. And one of them is pushing more growth and the other 3 look fine. And I'm just going to plant the 3 and not think too hard about it. Well, I'm not going to put them next to each other either. These are not great either. These are leftovers of the black gold. They didn't root any further than their initial cells. Could have been me, but I really don't know. Good soil, so I'm going to save that. I need to work on my walkway over here. I'm avoiding stepping on my tulips and daffodils, but it also means that butt's hanging out. I should say I am not bending appropriately. Still have a few left over. That's pretty exciting. So I have these 3, and while someday I might like to line each one of the fronts of the beds, that's not in the cards today. So let me put these here next to the weaker ones, just in case. Put these sad little guys here, because we can. Nice clean soil. Good. I'm going to keep cleaning up my mess while I go too, just because it's getting dark. The next planting that I wanted to do is the ranunculus. So you saw that I sprouted some, but I also wanted to try just doing them in the ground. One of the little rules of thumb is to plant bulbs and seeds, double their size into the ground and bury them. So that's what I'm doing. And I do know, which is a risk, that these have to stay wet. Otherwise, they will not do anything. They're spring stuff, so that'll probably, but it is my fatal flaw in gardening. Don't keep things watered. So it's something I need to make sure that I do. Hello. The ranunculus on this side, and I'll do the same spacing all the way down on the other side. So I did 10 up here. Next are my dianthus, and these are still little, needed to be potted up a little. I plant them in the yard. I do the spacing. I put them in this setting. I do not, because again, I'm cutting and I want as many as I can get out of them, and so I just keep cutting. This one has a nice, and this one has a nice root system. Actually, all of these do in this particular container. Usually with these dusty millers, which I'm wintering over, I want them to be for my spring bouquets. And many times when I've started them from seed, they are not ready to go with spring. That's why I'm trying the winter over part. See what happens, and then I can cut them. My dianthus will be much taller. These guys heaved, so they're gonna come out. I just realized my knee is completely in the way of what I was doing. No matter, we continue. The Crispidia, I'm going to do 5 per square foot. Doesn't really line with the number that I have, and I think they're appropriate spacing. It's bigger than what I did last year. I've mentioned last year I didn't do great, so we're just here to do covering the crown accidentally. Oh, these are good. Oops. I'm gonna skip this hole because I think that the dusty miller is gonna get big, or at least I hope it does. So I'm gonna do this guy and this guy, and this guy and this guy. Let me see. My lines aren't straight, but I'm fine with that. I did a good job of keeping on my labels, so I will know what's what, even though it feels like they're kind of obvious, especially when they bloom. Next set. So I love these bunny tails. They keep their shaded color. So easy to grow. Clearly don't have to pot them up. And they lasted all season, so it wasn't like they were just in my garden for the spring. I guess I didn't take that guy out. They grew out close together, and I'm guessing I can do better with the sunlight that they get for them to get taller. But last year I would say that they were not as tall as I was expecting. So we're going to keep them 6 a square foot. And this guy's going to go into his appropriate square foot. I'm thinking on this trellis, I want to do the firecracker vine that I saw out in the yard last year because it instantly got hummingbirds, which has definitely been a challenge for me to attract. I have every bug imaginable, but I do not have hummingbirds. Actually, let's see. You're going to go there, and I'm going to go further away from the sweet peas. That's the plan. That can be split, but I'm not going to do it. Now, I'm going to do the companions here. Again, 6 and 6. And then bells of Ireland here, 4. And this is the square foot. So here and here. That was not a good pull. She'll be fine. Labeled. Oh, shit. I'm going to wet these again. I am happy with that. Now, let's go ahead and take a look. So, last fall is when I planted a bunch of things to try out fall sowing. I would not call it totally successful, but the big one that I was going for was sweet peas. And as you can see, they live. I did 6. 3 survived, and thankfully I had just enough seeds left to sprout and be able to plant, and they're going to be great. So let me get my last one. These I tried cabbage last year, and they definitely did not survive. These are blue boys. Check out these strong seedlings. These are my dusty miller. I love these plants as foliage in my case, especially when I'm doing all white. Then it's all about the texture. New to me plants are these eucalyptus. I'm almost jealous when I go to an arrangement class and these are available and I can't go home and play with them more. And as I was pulling them out of the tray, what a treat. It just smells like eucalyptus everywhere. Here's the eucalyptus planted. I have it in the center of the bed, and I did 6 in about 1.5 feet spacing. Here you have them all planted up. I'll start with the tour on this side. So here we have our bunny tails, our crespedium is slowly getting bigger. A line of pansies that have finally started to bloom, along with ranunculus here up at the front from both sides of the bed. You've already seen the dusting of the eucalyptus. All the way here on the other side is wood and feverfew. Put something vining on this side that I haven't planted yet, or picked what I want either. Again, the snapdragons, the calendula, along with the straw flower and corncockle. And then we have here our stock, the bells of Ireland, our cresspedia, and then along the edge we have sweet peas and which are still little and cute. Finally made it through that bed of planting and those containers full of spring plants that will be blooming in the next 6 weeks and continue through till end of June. Thank you for joining me in the garden and look forward to seeing you again.